whatsoever. And yeah, let's get it.
We learned that Steffon Diggs has been charged with strangulation, assault, and battery. Let's get into the case. So, according to the police report, the alleged victim was working for Steffon Diggs as a chef, and she says that she wasn't getting paid. And so she spoke up and was like, "Give me my money." She says that she confronted him about the payment. He entered the room, they argued, and she alleges that he slapped her across the face. She says that she tried to push him away, and then he allegedly choked her from behind using the crook of his elbow around her neck, and she was having trouble breathing. Now, let's see if the charges match with the allegations. Choking someone and restricting their breathing, strangulation, that's a felony, and if not every state, in most. That slap to the face, that's assault and battery. Boom, very easy. So at a minimum, those charges track with what she's saying happened. Now, I do want to talk about where the defense attorneys are going to focus. She says that she did not take any photos of her injury. She has no pictures. And so the defense is going to argue, yeah, she has no photos because there is no injury, because there was no incident, nothing happened. Timing is another issue because the incident allegedly happened on December 2nd. She didn't report it to the police until December 16th. That's a 14-day delay. And so the defense attorneys are going to be like, well, why did you wait so long? If you were so injured and hurt and shaken up, why didn't you go to the police? Is it because you needed some more time to get your stories together? Did you want to try to do a shakedown on my client? When the shakedown didn't work, then you went to the police to make up these allegations. The defense is absolutely going to have something to say about that 14-day delay. And when she did go to the police, she said she did not want to press charges. And that's not completely out of the ordinary. A lot of times people go to the police just because they want documentation. They want a police report, maybe to bolster their evidence later. I mean, if she got assaulted by Steffon Diggs, she probably was going to prepare for a lawsuit later to get paid, not only for the chef services that she provided to him, but for her injuries as well. I don't know. But once you report something like this, the police decide if they want to investigate and press charges or not. It's above you at that point. Now, some of the documentation she does have on her side are these text messages located in the police report. These text messages seem to back up her story that there was some sort of dispute about payment. And I think Steffon Diggs looks horrendous in these messages. Very nasty, very, very rude. However, being nasty and rude to somebody in text messages and slapping them and choking them are two different things. One of those things is not like the other. One of those things is a crime and one of those things is not a crime. Now, this next part could hurt her or help her. She says that she texted Diggs about getting paid and he said, "Go deal with my assistant." And the assistant said, "Yeah, we'll give you your money after you sign a non-disclosure agreement." Now, listen, I'm not Olivia Pope from Scandal, but I didn't think you could use a non-disclosure agreement to cover up criminal conduct. If this woman can prove that the assistant tried to get her to sign an NDA to cover up criminal conduct, she has great evidence for her case. But on the flip side, right, Steffon Diggs and his attorneys are going to say, no, we wanted her to sign the non-disclosure agreement because there was this dispute about money and we don't want it out there that our client potentially does not pay people that he hires. And so they definitely have a PR spin that they can use on this. What I do know is that at some point, the chef did change her mind. And according to the officer, on December 23rd, she said, "Go ahead and type up those warrants, my boy. I want to press charges." Now Steffon Diggs is facing criminal charges. No one has been convicted of anything, but these are extremely serious charges. If convicted, that strangulation alone can carry about 5 years in prison. Assault and battery each can carry about 2 years each. So yes, very real charges, very real case. Welcome back
to we got us another one. Another NFL player, another rapper, another celebrity, another man in a position where he pretty much has life handed to him on a silver platter. You put the work in, you went to college, you did the reps, you earned that money. You earned that spot on that team. But here you are under the microscope for putting your hands on a woman. How many times have we been down this road? Oh man. Zay, man, how you feeling, man? Initial thoughts listening to this case, bro.
It's just not right at all. Like, to put your hands on a woman is I feel like no matter what the woman throws at you, you must hold your ground. Even if they test your manhood, even if they didn't mean to get under your skin, you must hold your composure at all costs, because it's detrimental, not only to your soul, but to your mind, to your reputation, and everything that comes between. It's mind-boggling to me, because me personally, I would never put my hands on a woman. And I've been tested multiple times, but I never did it because I held my ground and I said, you know what? I'm not gonna put my hands on you. I'm just gonna walk away.
Coach, we got another story where a woman is saying that a man essentially put his hands on her. This ain't new. This is a story that we've seen a million times. Um, what's your initial thoughts on this?
My initial thoughts is seems like an unprofessional relationship. They both lack professionalism. The chef shouldn't have put herself in a compromising position. Initially, those are my thoughts. Use better discernment. Looking at the text messages, she said that place was a circus. So she had already identified it was a problem within the household and lacked structure. So yeah, it sounds like there's a lot more missing. And then again, lacking in the professionalism, putting both of them into that situation. At first glance at the video, that's what I see.
You know what I don't like about this? It's the fact that we've been down this road so many times. I've lost track. Any one of us can scroll through social media history, or we could just freestyle off the top of our head how many cases we've seen or discussed about things like this. And it's like, my nigga, you done seen people go through this before. How is it that you could see somebody go through this prior to you and still you don't even learn yourself how to stay out of the shit? How do you end up in the same boat as the other 5, 10, 15 people? I never understood it. Like, look, oh shit, oh, this is what happens when you deal with that type. All right, I know what to stay away from. Nah, y'all just keep doing it. I think it's very unprofessional. I think a lot of these people, when they do business with each other, they don't handle it properly. Almost like you try to be friends, or you get way too comfortable with making this a cozy, well, since you're going to be under my roof, I want you to feel like this is like kind of like your home, but not your home, but I want you to feel comfortable around me, you know? And you got to separate business with pleasure. You can't have everybody in your space and expect them to be like your childhood friends and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So like with this, my first thoughts is, here we go again. We shouldn't even be here in the first place. And now what do we do moving forward? Based on the conversation piece, the information that was provided, her waiting days later to say something, do you think there's a strong chance that this is going to be in his favor or hers? Like, how do you kind of look at the outcome of this?
You can look at the outcome from any way you want, just looking at this video. She foot stomped on the 14 days, but you can't shame or criticize somebody on their timeline to process whatever version of trauma that they went through. So you can hypothetical and you can say whatever you want when you didn't go through the trauma as to when you would have done something, when you would have turned yourself in, etc. So it's always easy to say, but who knows, man? They got to go through the process, the legal process. They got text messages. They obviously had a relationship of some kind, both professional and unprofessional. So you can't prevent things like this, and I'll just focus on the chef because you can't confuse being a talent with owning a business or running a business. Just because you're talented don't mean you can run a business, because there's so many errors that they had right before this. If you're running a business, why don't you have your lawyers involved? When what type of payroll do you have set up? I mean, there's so many red flags right here. Again, we're just in the day and the age of everybody saying they own a company in the business or LLC, and they don't really know what it means to run a business. There's so many moving parts, there's so many facets, and those are probably all things that could have been eliminated leading up to this. Obviously building up off emotion, not getting paid, probably some other innuendo stuff that was going on behind the scenes that we don't know about. But you can look at the text messages and the emotion in the texts and tell how the exchanges were going, that there was other type of relationship had. But again, putting those processes in place, actually getting people to work those things for you so that you're not working it. So that way you don't mix business with pleasure, separate church and state. You don't have those issues. But again, people are talented, not necessarily business savvy. So you have all these issues that lead up to, all this stuff that's happening.
We just had a conversation about a social media streamer. I can't remember her name. And she accused the dude of sexually assaulting her, and that came out to be false. She shut down her whole social media. And it's like we keep having these situations where, and I don't want to minimize what you said, but it's like we keep having these cases where women will lie and say, oh, well, he did this to me. But then we find out this was not accurate. And we don't want to diminish that. I don't want nobody to ever think that I'm okay with a man putting his hands on another female, because that's some cowardice shit. You don't have to go that far. You shouldn't even ever put yourself in that position. You're a millionaire, my nigga. You set for life. You don't have to ever work again, ever. You know,
like that gives you, but you keep throwing the money out there like that's going to make him more educated and knowledgeable. You still be rich and ignorant, rich and dumb. Just because you're a millionaire don't mean you got common sense. People tend to do that a lot. You throw the money out there, that don't mean you set for life. You just got a lot of money in your bank account. That don't mean you're gonna make better decisions.
I mean, like my point is, like, you should know that people are going to try to sabotage you. They're going to try to come up off of you. They're going to try to bait you in. They're going to try to put shit on your name. Cardi B just got sued a few months ago by somebody, and she beat the case. Like, people are doing everything in their power to get an easy check. That's my only point. And it's like, you got people around you. You got family. You got friends. You got teammates. I'm saying, I'm not talking about specifically for him, just universally. Most of us have somebody around us that's saying you need to kind of be a little wary of this and that and the third. And I agree. Some of these people have proven that they're fucking dumb, unfortunately. But even me,
are they dumb or are they just going through experiences, man? You know what I'm saying? It's easy to call people names when everybody don't learn at the same rate. So everybody's going through their experiences when they go through them. You know what I'm saying? You can't expect everybody don't go through the same stuff at the same time. And then when you go through it, you don't come out with the same results.
So you mean to tell me you go to you're in elementary school, you're in high school, college, your father or somebody, they put you in a program. You say, I want to be a professional football player. So what does that take? It takes discipline. It takes focus. You can't be distracted. You have to lock in. You mean to tell me this man or someone in that position, you got the discipline and the wherewithal to be on that field for 8-9 hours training and practicing how to throw the football accurate or how to catch and run routes and do all that. But when it comes to deciphering whether or not a person has the best intentions for you, your brain is like a tin can.
Dude, you just answered your own question. You started out by saying this is a recurring thing that keeps happening over and over and over again. So if it keeps happening over and over and over again with the same demographic that you just identified, rappers, athletes, there's obviously a pattern. Obviously, they're not getting it. It's the same shit over and over again. You just said that. What are you talking about? So obviously, yes, there's a pattern. Look at where they come from. It's not, you don't have the athletes now are more smarter than they were back in the day. So, you can't just throw them all in a box and say they were dumb jocks like they used to say back in when we were younger. But the most successful athletes are the ones that's hungrier than the other ones. They come from a more low, less income housing area than the other ones. Their environment is typically, fight or flight. I either make this or my family doesn't eat. It's typically those ones that's out there playing ball in the snow, shoveling the snow, you know what I'm saying, playing ball in the rain. You never see them without a ball. That discipline you're talking about. Because the discipline is only in that area for me to play ball and get us up out of this environment. The discipline isn't being in a whole person and exercising the whole person concept. He's not saying I need to be the best theologist, the best mathematician. He said I need to have a fucking jump shot so I can get out of this neighborhood and this environment. So the discipline is on that one particular item. So that's what I'm saying when you say they should know. Why should they know? And then if those are the people that are around you, what do they know other than making sure you got the items that you need in order to be successful at the game that you want to play? You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, you can't just say you should know that, and then because you got money now, half these people you listen to them, they're getting beat out of money from agents. They're getting beat out of something because they don't know, they're not smart enough how to pick the best person to help them with their finances. So they ain't millionaires for life. So if they ain't got people to help them with the finances, then who the fuck's helping them with their mental health and all this other stuff that they need help with? So we can't just say they should know and everything should be good because they're in a higher tax bracket. That's all I'm saying.
Zay, what you got? What's your thoughts? How you feeling?
Well, we all saw what happened to Jonathan Majors, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's for him allegedly not even doing what he was arrested for. Now imagine you have someone that potentially actually did what he was arrested for. Now everything changed. That whole circumstance changed. Now you got eyes on him because he's known for being the aggressive type, because of his field, But it all comes down to if he did it or not. Because the reports out there, the new people is covering it, but we truly don't know if this dude strangled the woman. We truly don't know. He wasn't there, so all we got is speculation. But at the end of the day, what's right is right, and what's wrong is wrong. Based on what's given, it doesn't seem that he's aware that what he was doing was wrong. And the woman, the chef in the situation, seems like she just wants to be heard, but she's scared because there's so many hands in the pot now. First she started with the police report. Now it's being covered all over social media now. Someone as big as Steffon Diggs, he's bound to get eyes on it. So now she don't know what to do. She's, struggling with the fact that she was in the situation. She tried to speak her truth, and now it's all over the place. and there are things in set. That's why, you know, I stay away from the NFL. I like the games, but I stay away from the NFL because, you know, behind the scenes it's so structured. It's so structured. And they hide things on purpose. But they also put things out in the world on purpose. Like we all saw what happened to Kaepernick. You know, they do things on purpose. So we gotta be mindful that even though there's evidence presented, you never know what actually happened behind the scenes.
I don't like this. I'd be scared as hell to have anybody around me that's a millionaire. I don't care if I was a NFL player or NHL player. I don't care if I played golf. I'd be scared as hell to have anybody around me that wasn't in my immediate circle. I watch TV. I watch too much TV. And I see, like, for real, I see too much shit. First 48, forensic files, all that shit. Niggas be real snakes and shiesty as hell. Just me watching that, like, I don't have to be a scholar and have a bunch of gurus around me telling me about life to be my own observer. I see how people backstab and betray each other. It be right there in your household. So me even knowing that without having the extra training, I'd be scared as hell to have or be introduced to somebody. Who? Nah, I don't know you. Oh, you want me to talk to who? Nah, I'm good. That's your friend. That ain't mine. I wouldn't like, nah. It's a good thing I know how to cook for myself. It's a good thing I know how to wash my ass. I know how to wash my